What if 2026 isn't a crash, isn't a boom, and isn't a recession, but instead the biggest housing market reset the Los Angeles real estate market has seen in years? And if you've been waiting for prices to fall off a cliff or hoping mortgage rates magically return to the 3% range, this is a video you probably need to watch because that's not what's coming. So Redfin just released their 2026 housing market predictions. And for once, I actually agree with basically what they're saying. There's no hype, no sugarcoating, just a realistic look at where the housing market's heading. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the most important parts of Redfin's 2026 housing market forecast and giving you my real-world perspective as someone who works in the Los Angeles real estate market every single day. We're going to talk about mortgage rates, home prices, affordability, home sales, rents, family formation, multi-generational living, and how AI is starting to impact real estate. And more importantly, I'll explain what all of this actually means if you're a homeowner, buyer, or a seller here in Los Angeles. So before we dive in, a quick intro. I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group, your trusted Los Angeles real estate agent with over 21 years of experience and more than 250 five-star reviews online. I help buyers and sellers navigate complex real estate decisions in a market that is constantly changing. And 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most misunderstood years yet. All right, so Redfin is calling 2026 the Great Housing Market Reset. And let me be very clear. This is not a crash. It's not a recession. And it's definitely not a return to the frenzy, the unicorn years we saw in 2020 through 2022. A reset means slower, more balanced, and more strategic. And for a market like Los Angeles, that actually matters a lot. I'm going to explain. Let's start with the mortgage rate, because this is the single biggest factor driving buyer behavior right now. Redfin is predicting that mortgage rates will stay in the 6% range throughout 2026, with the average landing around 6.3% and possibly dipping in the low sixes by the end of the year where we are right now. Now, I actually agree with that outlook. Most credible economists and housing analysts are saying the same exact thing. Rates are not coming down quickly, and they're not dropping back into the 4% range anytime soon. Now, let me preface, that doesn't mean buyers are completely stuck. It is possible to get below 6%, but it usually requires paying points, negotiating seller credits, or using a temporary buy down. I've seen this firsthand. One of my clients closed recently with a 5.9% interest rate by paying a point, and for their long-term plan, it didn't make sense, but it may not be for you. So that's something to talk about with your lender. The key takeaway for buyers in Los Angeles is this: waiting for rates to drop may cost you more than it saves you. Pricing, inventory, and competition matter just as much as interest rates, and strategy is everything in today's real estate market. Now, let's talk about affordability, because this is where Redfin's headlines, I think, confuse a lot of people. Redfin said that home buying affordability will improve because wages are growing faster than home prices. And at first glance, that kind of sounds questionable. A lot of people lost jobs, wages aren't skyrocketing, but when you dig into what they're actually saying, it becomes a lot clearer. So what Redfin is predicting is that home prices in 2026 nationwide will only rise about 1%. And that's honestly a pretty realistic number. For years, we've seen this overly optimistic price growth forecast that didn't line up with reality. So slower price growth combined with slightly lower mortgage rates compared to 2025 means monthly housing payments should increase more slowly than they have in recent years. Now, that does not mean housing is suddenly affordable in Los Angeles. Property taxes can rise. Homeowners insurance in California is becoming more and more expensive and even harder to secure. Maintenance and repair costs are definitely real. A lot of deferred maintenance sometimes. So affordability improving doesn't mean affordability is fixed. It just means the pressure isn't accelerating the way it was before. Now let's talk about home sales, because this is another area where I think Redfin actually got it right on the money. Redfin is predicting that home sales will only rise about 3% year over year. That number really does make sense. We still have major inventory problems, we still have serious affordability challenges, and we still have millions of homeowners across the country sitting on what I call the golden handcuffs, these 2 and 3% mortgage rates that they have zero incentive to give up. And until that changes, inventory is going to stay tight. Mobility stays limited and sales growth remains slow. This isn't pessimism. It's just the reality in today's housing market. Now, this is especially true in Los Angeles, where people don't sell unless they have to. Maybe a job change, family change, divorce, death, estate sales. This is what drives the inventory, not people casually upgrading their homes. So if you're watching this and trying to decide whether to buy or sell, or timing alone isn't enough, you need a plan, and you really want it really quick. Let's move on to rents, because this affects both renters and homeowners. Redfin is predicting that rents will rise about 2 to 3% in 2026, roughly in line with inflation. And in Los Angeles, that feels very realistic. And in some neighborhoods, it may even be conservative. Let me tell you why. More people are choosing to rent because buying a home is still out of reach. Apartment construction has slowed significantly compared to 2021 and 2022, and demand hasn't gone anywhere. I saw rental activity really slow down in parts of Los Angeles late last year, more than I expected. But if affordability remains tight, rental demand is going to push rents back up. Now that leads directly into one of the more important trends Redfin highlighted, and that is the changing family dynamics. High housing costs are reshaping how people live. We're seeing more roommates, delayed household formation, and fewer people starting families earlier in life because of the financial constraints and pressure. Homeowners are renting out rooms to offset mortgage costs, friends are buying together, and multi-generational living is becoming far more common. It's something that we see even especially in new construction. So adult children moving back in with the parents, parents moving in with adult children, families combining resources to buy one property instead of two. And in Los Angeles, this isn't a trend. You could argue that it's pretty much a survival strategy. So Redfin also broke down which housing markets are expected to heat up and which are expected to cool off. So for more affordable housing, you have to look to the Midwest and the Northeast. They're getting attention because of lower home prices and lower insurance costs. Meanwhile, markets like Texas, Florida, Nashville, Austin, and Miami, they're continuing to soften after years of rapid growth. They have rising insurance premiums and heavy new construction that basically offers more competition. Los Angeles, on the other hand, plays by different rules. We don't have an overbuild problem here in Los Angeles. We're geographically constrained, demand is always here, and that's why LA doesn't crash the same way other markets do. But it also means growth is slower and more controlled right now. And finally, let's talk about AI in real estate, because this is where people love to just jump to conclusions. So Redfin predicts that AI will become a real estate matchmaker, and I'm already seeing this, helping buyers identify where they should live based on their lifestyle, their budget, commute, and preferences. And honestly, that does make sense if you truly think about it. Technology is getting better at narrowing options and educating consumers. And I'm sure you see that every day when you're looking online. But AI is not replacing real estate agents. It can't negotiate, it can't evaluate risk, it You can't walk a property, spot red flags, or protect your interests in a high-stakes Los Angeles real estate transaction. Yes, technology will continue to evolve, but human guidance is still critical, especially in a complex market like Los Angeles. So here's the bottom line. This is what I'm trying to say. 2026 is not about a market crash. It's not about a boom. It's about a reset. Slower price growth, limited inventory, strategic buyers, realistic sellers, and a market that rewards smart decisions instead of speculation. If you have questions about the Los Angeles real estate market, please reach out. I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. I'd love to be your resource for everything Los Angeles real estate, and we'll see you on the next video.